Hi, this is Lester Langdon. My blog is Houstonius.com. That's HoustonIUS.com. To tell you about the weekly Whine, this week's nightmare. And I was marketing for the seller, a 36-unit apartment complex. And the buyer and seller agreed on a price. There was to be non-refundable earnest money go into an escrow account at the title company, non-refundable after the inspection period. And the buyers would continue to show up, and their contractors and their inspectors would show up without appointments, unannounced. I got no less than 10 telephone calls from the seller, the seller's brother who lived in Houston, and the manager on site and the maintenance man, saying that people were showing up and without appointments. They had a reasonable concern, and the buyer agreed to cooperate, but then people kept showing up without appointments. And so I asked one of the buyers who the inspector was, why he was going to be there, and he hung up on me for being too inquisitive. And then at the property during the inspection, the other buyer was not sympathetic to my concerns, and I had suggested that they needed to understand the seller's concerns, and he jumped in my face about 2 feet away, and I just walked off for about 30 minutes. This is the first time I've ever had a seller be late giving the collected rents to the title company so that they could be prorated to the buyer and seller. And this is oddly the first time that I've had a buyer request that future uncollected late rents be put into an escrow account at the title company, and the buyer and seller bickered as to whether it would be $0 or $5,000. They finally agreed to a small amount, about $3,000 or $4,000. That's the first time I've ever had that happen. So that's this week's Whine, this week's Rant, this week's Nightmare. Go to my blog at Houstonius.com, that's HoustonIUS.com, or call me at 281-236-8189, and I promise not to whine and rant. Will satisfy your concerns. Goodbye.